Teenagers, you don't just turn into a teenager who has mental health issues. It's a whole vicious cycle from a time when a child is born to the time when a child is a teenager. Mainly, what I've noticed is their ability to handle stress is difficult because somewhere they have not been taught responsibility. As parents, we overdo things for children, and at the same time, we don't let them grow at the time they need to grow. So, from a child to when a child is 2.5, when he is able to do little chores around the house, the mother takes up the task and later on tells the child that he is irresponsible. So, parents need to have a real check on themselves as to how they deal with their child. Secondly, I feel that it is how a child is treated, how a teenager is treated, what he is told, what he is listening to his parents on a day-to-day basis. We must realize that their homework has increased. Social media plays an extremely important role in their life. They are struggling with their height and weight. They are struggling with the way they dress. They're struggling with their peer relationships and what the friends feel about them. Then they are struggling with the generation gap between the parents and the parents not being able to understand them and not being able to understand that what they did when they were kids is not going to happen with these teenagers. It's very important to have parents who understand the child, they're friendly, and are able to take criticism from the child. Normally, we parents, we have a boundary around us. We say we are listening to our children, we understand our children. But when our children tell us certain things, we just don't like it and we put them off completely. So, when you say friendly, that means you are friends and you're open to all communication, whatever the child tells you. There is a time and a place for you to tell your child if your child is doing something wrong. And it should be more of a grown-up conversation, not a conversation where the parent is dictating her terms. That's where the friendship is blown out of proportion. I also feel that the school which the child goes to needs to have a great environment where it is very encouraging. The teachers need to be encouraging. And I also feel the parents need to pick and choose the friends in terms of when the friends come to visit the child at home, they need to see what kind of a family background, what kind of a person the child is. It's not important that the child is coming from a rich background, but most important is what are the values which have been instilled in this child. So I always think whenever parents are friendly, they do bring their friends to meet their parents, and the parents within 5 minutes can tell what the child is all about. Then again, confronting your child for the friends he keeps is again very private. It has to be told to them very logically, and you should give examples to the child as to what you want, what kind of children they should be with. You know that drugs is on an increase, alcohol is on an increase, and one has to be very careful when these friends come home or your child visits them. It's always good to have their parents informed, meet up with the parents of the teenagers who are mingling with your children, and that would be, I think, the best thing you could do for your child. So these are a few things, there's just a few things. It's just basically, it's sad, but parenting was never taught to us. It is something we learned all along. But today we have a lot of books available which teach us about parenting. Parenting is all about instincts. You are in harmony with your child, you can feel his vibrations, you know what your child is up to. If your child does not meet eye contact, there's definitely something wrong. So I would suggest that parents need to go with the flow of energy which you receive from the child. And that only happens when you listen to the child, you feel for the child, and you love your child unconditionally. not just for saying it, but unconditionally, because your child is your child and he's special to you. That's all I want to say.